Previously on Unranked.
Nice. Walkabout mini golf. Also, indie sleeper. Look, Gia, we haven't gotten you in there. We got to get you in there.
I know.
We got to get you in there.
I know.
So it is.
Maybe
it is
at the wedding we'll bring the
part of,
PlayStation.
Are you gonna be there?
Yeah, Gio's coming.
Oh!
Can you imagine
shit.
if you had me on here and
so excited about that. I did not know.
I will be there.
I'm so excited to get to hang out with you.
We will hang out
I meant to
shortly.
text Tom ahead of time because I didn't want to ask and then be like, no, I'm not going to the.
I should have pretended. I should have been like, what would I?
A good little tune. Hey, what's up?
It's a great tune. It's a good beat.
It's the 476th episode of the Unranked podcast. We have Christian Humes. Around in the corner, we have Alex Tuna Marinello. And leading up the rear, we have the one and the only Tom Helsinski.
We also, thank you. We've had good the person whoever made our music, the random Spanish guy or something.
Yeah, the guy from Spain on Fiverr.
Yeah.
Which we paid him more than $5. It was like $30. But you know what? It's pretty good, $30.
All of the renditions
of
the theme are awesome, and all of the other music he's made. It's like every time I hear a new like at work, like we'll get like they just changed the podcast jingle for Game Breaking News, right? When they changed it from Game Mornings. So
did Jeff Grubb not say anymore? He had like a really weird intro to his thing. So I remember when I listened, whenever I would listen when you would go on, and I checked it out sometimes when Emma was on. It would end with him going
I don't remember him doing that. But anyway, drafts came in of Game Breaking News theme, and I was like, oh, we should have got the fucking Unranked guy to do this. Our shit is way better.
That's true. You know, I was thinking season 5 because we've updated it, but then we went back to the short one because we're doing this kind of thing now. Yeah. You know, with the video, it's like you're not going to do the 10th
anniversary.
Song. So I'm thinking season 5. Maybe what I should have him do is, you know, the remixes we had where like he added more flourishes. Maybe he makes a short version of one of like the remixed versions, so that it's the same thing, but just, you know, I think we pump it up, we juice it a little.
I think we spring for a 10th anniversary. But let's leave it up to the fucking audience.
We'll figure it out.
We'll throw it in the Discord.
All right. Speaking of throwing things around, let's throw around today's Pokemon. What do you guys say?
Yep. Yeah. I have a Pokeball.
Well, it's the 476th episode. That means we're talking about the 476th Pokemon.
Wow. Okay.
Probopass.
Oh, this guy.
This motherfucking guy.
This is the Generation 4 ice cream cone.
Yeah, this is a weird one.
This is a weird one.
Let me describe him for the folks at home first. I'm gonna use Bulbapedia's description just because he's a weird guy, so I'm just gonna go with
his mustache looks like pubic hair.
Dude, Probopass is a mostly blue rock-like Pokemon. It has small round eyes, a red nose that is large in proportion to its body, and a bushy black mustache that consists of iron sand, which appears to be attracted by its magnetic nose. It's kind of like Wooly Willy.
Clever.
Oh shit! I never realized.
Now it's clever. Now it's clever.
I mean, it's still kind of fucked up, but I do like it now at least.
I thought it was gonna. I saw it initially, and I was like, oh, they're gonna say it's like moss growing on the rock, like.
That's like 100% what I was thinking.
But it being like the magnetic pull of his.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
That a lot. I like that a lot.
I mean, I like the nose pass a lot. I think the pre-evolution, this sort of like, you know, they're both kind of a little Olmecish and Golemish, right? Like they fall into that kind of category of like ancient statues. I think it's cool. Like his is almost more like the Easter Island. You just have the head showing, kind of a sitch. But Probopass, I think, is not as good as Nose Pass. design wise.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, and it may not have been the case for either of you. The magnet sand thing really got me. Like I like it. Really, like I like this a bit more because of that.
Oh,
Like,
Tom, that definitely raised itself some considerable
Raised it
points
up.
for me.
Considerable point. I don't know if
Well,
it raised
Alex,
itself
Alex, to be
considerable
fair,
point.
I'm
without
saying
that fact, it
considerable.
was very low. Now it might just be lower.
All right.
Like this was initial reaction. I'm like, this is a bottom 5, bottom 10 Pokemon. Now I'm like, oh, maybe there's like 20 or more Pokemon below it actually. Because who doesn't love a Woolly Willy?
I'm always a fan of when they get weird with it. Like some Pokemon that are boring are the worst in my opinion. And I think like
That's fair.
anything that's interesting and makes you kind of, yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
You're like the first gen Pokemon. It's like, this is a mouse. You have Rattata. It's literally just a mouse.
Yeah, and there's a lot I think of those Gen 1ers that are.
I mean, when he evolves, it becomes much more of a monster. I actually think that's part of the motif
I like
that made the first generation work, though.
Raticate is one of my least favorite Pokemon.
No, I'm not saying it's a good Pokemon, but what I was going to say is Gen 1 had much more of the first stage of the Pokemon is like fairly reminiscent of a real animal.
The animal,
and
yes.
then it becomes more monstrous when it evolves. Whereas now it's just like we forgot that and they go from the get with them being bizarre.
Yeah. Yep.
I didn't notice that until right now.
That's an interesting yeah, that's good. That's good.
Tuna, tell us about its name.
Sure. So Probopass may be a combination of
Proboscis.
Well, it may be a combination of proboscis and compass.
Proboscis?
Proboscis.
The fuck is proboscis?
What do you mean? Did you not pay attention in elementary school? Fucking nature.
You mean proboscis?
No, proboscis.
Oh, god damn it, Tom. I had to go now look at it to make sure, and he's doing the thing. I just thought he was saying a different word.
I didn't know that this is what this was called.
You didn't know what a proboscis was?
Proboscis.
You're such a tool. All right. I'm gonna give it a thumbs up on the improved shiny colors. Not necessarily, actually, improved might be the wrong word, but just in them being a true variation and not simply, a slight color shade. It's a dramatic departure when you're going from blue to gold. Red stays the same.
Yes. I can vibe with this.
Yeah. Oh. All right, let me read you a Pokedex entry. Probopass radiates such a powerful magnetic field that nearby electrical appliances are rendered useless while it's around. You know who could have used him? Danny Ocean. Because then you don't need a splinch. A pinch. That's what it was.
Pinch of a splinch.
Oh, right.
What's going on, Tuna? Wake up.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
All right, well, why don't you stick this on the list? Where's it going?
Yeah, you stick it.
Me stick? I never stick. Hold on,
we'll
we gotta go
adjust.
back.
You set the target.
Hold on, let me see. Oh my god, because I got all this shit in here now.
Tom, I kind of wish this was almost like some weird, I wish we had a sort of meter that each of us could interact with in private, I'd
put it in
rating, and then it finds they all reveal.
I'd put it at the 38.
Okay. That's a huge jump from where it probably started out, which I would have said is in at least probably the bottom 25. Now we're talking about top 50.
Well, now it's got a proboscis, so
it's true. It's got the proboscis. Tom, what do you think?
I like it a lot. More. I'll add. I like it a lot more than I initially did.
That doesn't help me.
I know. Where did you have it?
He was putting it one above Munchlax.
No, that's high. That's high.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Tuna's flipped on us. Tuna's become the most.
That's crazy.
Impressed by this Pokemon just for its proboscis.
This is hit the Drifloon test for me. I think this is better than Drifloon, but under Mamoswine.
So then what number?
Oh, sorry, 43.
I said 38, and that was crazy, and you went with 43.
Yeah, because over Snova. Well, I thought that I thought it would honestly go further down. But
your credibility just got
Tom,
shot.
I have to say, Tom, I thought you meant Drifblim because this isn't better than Hipposwine or Togekiss. There's no way.
Oh, I would say so.
No, I'm thinking the new 48, 47.
Oh my God, again.
I'm putting it in the bottom 50%.
Why is Lot Bunny so low? It's so much better. Vespiquen, these are better Pokemon than some of the shit. I
mean, I gotta say, this is unbelievable. I feel like I just got like, I don't know,
bamboozled.
Yeah, like you guys made it seem like you. Oh my God, 38! Are you crazy? The highest you went was like 10 more.
Hey, you're putting in the
standard deviation.
50%.
The standard deviation of that is probably like
what is okay. You know what? Well, see now
I would say it's
a problem.
Almost exactly 12% difference.
Now, okay, look, here's the thing. You kick it below those two fucking balloons.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at these and I'm like, it's below everything under that. So now I'm going, shit, I'm going real low. I'm going real fucking low.
What is going on?
I would put it above Stunky.
Dude, it's better than the Bronze.
Oh, Bronzong? Okay.
Tangrowth is cool. Tangrowth is pretty fucking cool.
I can live with under Tangrowth. Can Tuna live with that? Just considering how he had
it's like the new 53. It's like the new 52, Tom, but it's the new 53.
Fine.
Slater in the chest says this Pokemon is just a WarioWare crossover. That's a great analysis.
Absolutely is.
Mm-hmm.
All right, the new 53
like
Proboscis. We can move on from it.
We can move on.
Tom, you got anything going on? Playing anything?
Nothing has happened this last week.
Good.
Nothing has happened this last week.
We'll end it there.
Alex is dying to go play.
We'll end it there.
Prince.
Oh,
can I tell you what happened on Tuesday, Tom?
Sure.
Alex and I were like, all right, back at it. Laser hell. Here we go. And we were making some progress. Albeit said, I had to get the second part of my root canal that day. So I was at the dentist getting a root canal for 2 hours. So while we were doing all right, we were making it to the 4th stage. We got a few attempts at it. And we only did like for 30 minutes. We didn't actually do it for our whole time. At one point, I was like, I got to ask you something about blueprints. And then we just put our controllers down and just stopped playing entirely and just talked about blueprints for like 30 minutes.
In a very roundabout way to try to not spoil anything, but also try to see if each one of us had done the same things. Like, have you discovered X and have you done Y? A good way to do it was to see... Because the rooms are labeled, they're numbered. So you can kind of say, okay, do you have room numbers, 5, 7, and 8? And if he does, then I can confidently say, okay, well, there's something in, that room. Did you do that?
They'd be like, so did you notice anything in there?
Did you notice it? Right. Did you do anything in that room? Did anything happen? Do you have
anything interesting?
Right. Read anything interesting?
Tom,
how far do you get?
The first 10 minutes of this was me... Like, it was actually, this is how it happened. We were playing the game, and I just kept getting really frustrated, being like, I don't know how we can talk about this game because we're probably doing completely different things in our game. And I do not know. I was like getting like, honestly, like audibly frustrated because I was dying to talk about this video game. And it's really hard to do without spoiling something. You can't ask any even slightly pointed questions. You have to like figure out a way. It was hard. It was a puzzle unto itself for us to have this discussion.
it's an interesting challenge to try to talk about the game without spoiling anything and without, because you can't say, have you done this yet? Because it's not apparent that you can even do what I'm asking you.
Right.
So
because the thing is like,
here we go.
And
which I'm less worried about Tom, because we have now considerable time in this game.
You are both. I've only gotten 5 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
That being said, it's entirely possible that in your first 5 days, you've done something that neither of us.
Yeah, it's very possible that you've hit something that we didn't do.
There's only 2 things, and I think they're the most obvious things. Is like the safe in the boudoir.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about it? Have you opened it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa! I have not. So I've overlooked or missed something.
You've missed.
Yeah.
So cheers.
Yeah.
What I will say to you,
I've overlooked something.
No. All I'll say to you is I feel like the boudoir safe.
I thought that was the initial.
Is one of the first
puzzle.
Things. I think. Yeah. It's
That's
one of the first things.
Felt like it was designed that way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Agreed.
Interesting. Yeah.
Agreed. You're actually.
I'll be honest with you. I haven't reattempted it because I was just under the impression that I would need to find the answer to that somewhere else. So I haven't even considered it or gone back to it or looked at it. That being said, I've recently become frustrated because I thought that's how that one worked. So it's also how several others that may or may not exist would work. And so I haven't attempted to solve any of these. So it seems like, I mean, that's
wow.
But I'm playing. The whole reason is because I'm focused on all of these other things I'm doing.
We're gonna talk in code right now, just for a second. So yesterday, Chris, I asked you how many of something you had. Did you get one more?
I only have 3.
Okay.
I thought I was getting 4. I thought there were 2 things that I was doing, right?
Yeah.
I was doing 2 things, and I was like, I'm getting my 4th. I'm getting my 4th from both of these. So I was like, either one of these seems like the exact thing that's going to do it. And so now I've done 2 totally different things that I spent. Both of them took a lot of time to do.
Yeah.
Neither of them gave it to me. So I do not know what that thing is going to be.
Yeah. So I can also say that I've had an item that did something that I was like, oh wow, like I didn't realize it did that. And then was
it an item that like you had to buy somewhere or find
no.
somewhere,
It was an item that
maybe you're like MacGyver.
No, not MacGyver, but I did come across an item and I used it in a specific place and it opened something and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that I have to do those steps to get it again. Anyway.
How much have you been a MacGyver in this game?
How much of a MacGyver have I been?
Yeah.
One time. I've been a MacGyver once.
I've been a MacGyver a few times now, and it is a transforming experience.
I'm sure it is. The first MacGyver thing I did was pretty cool. So so that was really
Also, okay. I just want to say, I don't know if anyone here is a fan of pool, but I now hate it, and I actively avoid pool.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of
the only frustrating thing. Oh,
You're
the darts.
So you are a big fan. So that was in pool, but we're talking about the billiard room. Tom,
billiard room.
How are you doing with darts? Because you are colorblind.
No, I figured out the
You're able to see the colors good enough?
I was able to, but it's not so much. Well, the colors are important.
Yes.
Yeah, I can see the colors enough. Yes.
Okay.
It was a little tough between 2 of them, but it's one of those things that when you notice the difference, your brain
so now you can
reminds
see it.
Yourself.
Like you can tell. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
But I'm curious with that one. It felt like I ended up intuitively solving it.
Yes.
But there was something that in my head was like, I think there has to be a cipher somewhere for this.
There is. Yeah. But it is a puzzle that you can intuit.
Yeah.
You don't need
mostly.
I'll give you
mostly because recently I've been having a lot of trouble.
It took trial.
No, I figured that out. I figured out as it went along. Because I didn't find not to spoil anything, but since you're already found the dartboard and since you've already kind of figured out what is going on, Chris found it. I didn't even notice it. You've definitely seen it. It's just you haven't seen it.
Mild, incredibly mild spoilers.
Mild
I'm just
spoiler.
putting out a warning. We're gonna have hopefully at most incredibly mild spoilers for this game. Maybe it'll entice you to play. I think but we are going to continue to speak in as much code as possible.
Yeah, this is one of the best games I've ever played. Just put that
truly
so,
top 10
games. I still think Tunic
for sure.
I still think Tunic is better just in terms of right now.
We're not there yet,
my
though.
feeling of it.
I haven't seen everything.
I know.
You
so
know,
with the dartboard,
Tunic became that at the end, right?
Yeah.
So who knows?
So with this, Tom, the dartboard cipher, like what to do with the dartboard is explained somewhere, and you've very, very likely already seen it, and you just haven't seen it.
Yeah. Which I feel like it clearly is what this game is, and like what people refer to as like you have no idea. Like the
all right, let's set the scene.
It's just crazy to like look at this game and think about like how many layers there are.
There's so there's
like,
the thing that I'm
just
talking.
Like, how much more stuff could that possibly be?
There's a ton more stuff because
I keep on uncovering new layers of things.
Yeah, dude. So the thing that we're just talking about now, where Chris only has 3, I have 4. Yeah. And that opened up another layer. And I was just like, what the fuck?
I feel very strongly that I know what that did for you. And it's what I'm assuming is going to happen. But like I mentioned to you earlier today, I have, and I don't know about you, I have entered the antechamber. I have
opened the antechamber, but did not make it.
I have done that several times. And today, unexpectedly,
made it in.
I made it in.
All right, let's paint the picture. Hold on. Let's paint the picture. Let's paint the picture. All right, so you start the game. It's a first-person game, puzzle game. Okay, your granduncle has apparently died.
We did explain to the audience last week, but
you explained it.
Yes.
That's how you know I don't pay.
Because we had Gio here last week.
Oh, you had Gio. All right. So far, I'm so then fuck it.
TLDR though, if you didn't listen to last week's episode, it's a 4x5 grid. You are every time you open a door, you get 3 rooms randomly or somewhat randomly served to you.
Randomly.
They have different items in them to unlock things, solve things, whatever, or get more resources. The placement of the doors in that room are different, and you'll run into dead ends. That's basically how the game is. You'll get it very quickly when you like look at a video of it or something. In fact, if you're watching the video podcast, I'll bring up a visual aid.
So you're trying to get to the antechamber, which leads you to hopefully another room, the final room that you'll be able to beat the game. Like Chris said, I've opened the door to the antechamber once. Chris has been in the room apparently. But I will tell you, right, that I don't know if this isn't really a spoiler, but there is other things going on other than the house.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's a great game. It is really hard to talk about without spoiling stuff for people who haven't played. Like it'll be fun to go through it with you guys once Tom has gotten very far and Chris and I have gotten far enough where we're confident that like 90% of what we're talking about is stuff that we've already experienced. But it's entirely possible that we're still not, like, we haven't seen or know of something.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, I understand why people roll credits and keep playing. And I've been kind of slow burning my progress almost purposefully. And being less productive than maybe I could be while I play because I'm trying to do everything.
I'm trying to
I kind of feel like I could roll credits and it's fine.
Yeah.
I can because I have to do all the puzzles.
I will definitely do all the puzzles. There's rooms that are specific. Like I guess that's my only.
I want to see every room.
Yeah, I want to see every room. I also it is frustrating. This is the only frustrating part of this game when you have an idea of what you want to do because you know that you can do something. Like the steps to do it, and it's just RNG at this point of being like, fuck, like roll the dice. Okay, I got one room.
But that's the thing. There's so many other things you can be doing. So I have to like train myself to just work on whatever is available to me.
Yeah, you were coming with
I
the bell.
initially, because I think I've gotten the hint of something to like a thread of a thing that I want to follow, and initially I was like that. But two things: the RNG is not fully randomized; it's more
No,
like
there is
a select pool of things, obviously.
Yeah.
And then, but then on top of that, the way that people talk about this game and the way that like people hint at things, and obviously like this is a very layered game. It's one of those things where I'm like, I will. It was my favorite thing that I've heard about the game came from Dan Reichert, and he said, "You are learning things even if you don't realize you are."
Yeah,
And so
100%.
like even though that a certain thread might not be fully accessible to me, and yes, I'm building toward it, I'm constantly keeping myself aware that like I'm learning new things, like taking something new and like build threads to follow so you have options. And I think that that's how this is meant to be played. It is interesting though, because I do know a number of people that obviously feel that way about like how, the randomness and like thread following and stuff. But yeah.
I mean, there's
It's like a game of chess, like you're sometimes making moves, sometimes you're not. Sometimes you're just looking for like, I'm just trying to get a piece. But
And
other times you're making a move for the queen. Like, this last run, I was like, oh, I'm actually going to do the antechamber. I had no intention of it. I thought I was going to do these I had some items that I had been waiting to do something with, but then I realized I had the opportunity to go to the antechamber, and I was like, well, I can't not do that.
Yes.
I have been so compelled by these other things that I haven't thought about going to the antechamber basically the whole game. And now I'm dropping things that I've been like waiting to do because that's actually the thing I've been waiting to do, So it's like
something else I've also started to notice is like I'm thinking about how to play the game differently. Like initially I was just like, okay, build something that can get me the closest to the end. Like that was my initial jumping into it, like just see how far I can get up the map. And then once I started learning things and uncovering things, I was like, oh no, it's not just about like making sure you have a path. It's about the strategic placement of rooms. Because, for example, like a room that'll give you an extra step every time you walk into it. And I was realizing as I was building more intricate and like thoughtful paths, I realized like, oh man, if I just had this room here and that room there, like, and so like that in itself is like a new layer of gameplay that I'm like, that's something I have to keep in mind every time I'm like building.
And you should stream this whenever you get to if you're able to stream this, you should, because I would definitely put that on. I would love to watch you play this game. Dude, this is where the Nintendo game, like I'm unironically excited about the way Nintendo Game Chat works, because I love the idea of being able to play a single player game like this, and like if I was able to just have your window open below and see what you're like.
This is what a lot of people do with Discord. When we were playing,
to do that, you got to be playing on PC, or you have to also capture something. You have to be sitting in front of like that.
But
this is a way that better
people play
than
games for sure.
I'm into it.
When I was playing the finals with Kenny, he was playing it, and we would like chat in his Discord chat, and it was the first time I had seen that, where I jumped in and he was streaming his finals game, but everyone else was streaming, like someone was playing like fucking Slay the Spire and streaming that. And I was like, oh, this is how you guys hang out. Interesting. So I think it's actually going to be a quite popular feature.
Yeah,
that game chat, but we'll get to it later. Anyway, so Blueprints.
Man, I'm curious. So Tom, you did something amazing for Alex and I, and you don't even know it.
The Ambernick?
We did not know. I mean, yes, that's true. Tom got us Ambernicks.
Well, I guess we'll get to that when we start talking about it.
That's pretty sick. So I didn't know about the document scan feature in Notes.
Oh.
So my notes were getting really extensive, but also had a ton of images in them.
Yeah.
Hold on, she can't see. I'm gonna hold this up for people. Like, my notes are like very image heavy, but now I know about this whole document scan thing, and so like I can minimize them, and not only can I minimize them, but like I can drop down multiple images in it. So like I can just be like, here's every picture for this room. So now every room is just like that. I have like the second I found that out, I have so many rooms now. Just everything is on there. What are your notes looking at? Like
me?
Yeah.
Very bare bones right now. I'm trying. I was also kind of getting into a trap.
Start notating everything.
Okay. I've mostly just been like taking pictures and scanning stuff. I haven't like started notating things, but I am getting to that
I didn't
point.
know about this. So this makes it easier to do it now. I was writing a lot more because I didn't want to have a million pictures to scroll through. Now that you can do this, I would mostly be doing this. I've been writing like very little now. I'm mostly just scanning everything in.
Yeah. So that's what I've been doing. But it was also something where I was like, I was starting to get too in my head about the game as well, because so many, I've already heard so much about it.
Sure.
It would have been I like how we're playing now, but man, to have played this without hearing anything about it would have been kind of mind-blowing. So I didn't want to, because
it's also possible you might have like bounced off it and not known there was deeper stuff to see. And then because remember when we did that
vibe,
that run and you just saw the one run, you were kind of like, well, is that like the whole game? And I was like,
that's what I thought too.
So like you I think you needed to know that it was like not only was there more, there's so much more that's the novelty of it.
But I do really enjoy the vibe of it, and it's funny because initially I was like, oh, this is a great podcast game, like I can throw something, a thing in the background, but like the music in this game and the sounds and the vibes, like I find myself way more engrossed when like I have that shit cranked. And dude, I'm sure you guys, I don't know, maybe you haven't, but like there are cinematics in this game. There's one in the beginning, and there are some in the game which surprised me. I didn't think it was going to be that kind of game.
It shocked me as well.
When they hit, I was like, oh shit, this is like I'm assuming you guys have done the one with
this is so good because watching Tom try to not spoil something.
The what machine?
Big machine. Hey,
machine from Big.
That's good. That was good. Yeah, I did do that.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
When I did that and it played the thing that it fucking played, I was like, oh, fuck. Oh,
same.
shit. Is this like Lost? Is this a good Lost video game? Like, holy fuck. I am so stoked. Like, that was the thing where I was like, oh, I'm locked in. Like, we are
suddenly like
this.
Stephen King is writing this.
So I'm so stoked to see where that goes, because I'm like, what are you talking about? But obviously, well, I'm curious as to how much of that you guys have seen.
Tom, I only just did it again for the first time. In fact, when I did it for the first, well, I've done it twice now, but when I did it the first time, it was within my last like 8 days. Like I didn't do that until like day 25 or something.
Oh, interesting.
It never came up for me.
Day 5 or something. Yeah. Wow.
But there's something I did on day 2, which is your first actual day, that I know that Alex hadn't done when we were last talking about it. And he was like on day like 18 or something. Dude. And because he just had not had access to it. And I had it on my first day.
What is your guys' day count at?
I think 20 something.
I'm currently on 34.
Oh wow, okay.
But I did so I learned the hard way that like you can't force the thing. I came to terms with that a long time ago, because I'd say runs 5 through 15 were very short, because I was like, well, I just need this thing. And I was just focused on the RNG of it. And I basically had like somewhere between 5 and 10 very unproductive runs, because I was like, I just want to try and see if I can make it to the antechamber. I was like, maybe I'll see stuff along the way, but I didn't try and do anything. And I blew through them. I just like open door. Oh, ran out of keys. Done. Start over.
Yeah.
Don't play the game like that.
I also like I ran into the trap, but like I had forgotten that some doors are like, some rooms repeat the effect, right? Every time you go into them. And like for multiple runs, I completely forgot that the chapel was draining my coins.
Right.
And I would get to somewhere, I was like, wait, what the fuck? Like, I had
Yeah.
5 coins. Like, what the fuck?
You're just going in and
it
out.
was like, and then I was like, oh, that's what that sound effect is. I thought I was stepping on glass. Every
Nice.
time I'd walk in, I was like, why is that glass on the floor? Like,
Yeah,
what
man.
does that sound? I was like,
No,
oh, it's
fuck the
taking a
chapel.
coin. Fuck the chapel.
Mm-hmm. fuck. I mean, the red rooms are all fascinating, but fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck all the red rooms. What do you think is the most annoying thing to run into when you're not prepared for it? Not having the key card, not having diamonds, not having keys.
Keys for me right now is the one that I'm like, I need all of the keys. One time I did the darts, and I got 3 keys, and that felt amazing.
Yeah.
But it's funny, like yeah, it'll be even the keys, like you'll feel like, oh, I have so many keys, and then very quickly you're like, I have no keys left. Fuck. Cool game, man. Cool game. Vibes are great. The reason I really am glad that like this kind of sunk its teeth into me, because obviously there has been like Bellatra last year sunk its teeth into so many people. Inscription, obviously, Tunic, like every year there's 1 or 2 of these games, and every year I'm like, I missed the boat. Like it's, I wish I had been there. And like for this, I'm really glad. And it was really when people would say like, oh, The Witness, right? And I'm like, oh, well, The Witness is like the one puzzle game that like I was obsessed with. So yeah, happy to
Did you ever play Fez? I feel like the answer was no. I think I've asked this.
It was way.
That was great.
Fez came out like kind of like way before, not before my time, but before I was like really into games, like more broadly than just
the Xbox 360 era.
The top, 360 era, right? It wasn't until like PS4 where I was like, because the digital availability of things and like the rise of the indie and all that, right? So like Fez was so unique for its
Tom is such a modern gamer.
I know.
Like, it's really so weird.
Yeah. It's a game that I've like booted up and wanted to play, but I own on Steam when it was like on sale for like $1. And I've been like, oh, Fez, great, grab that, let's boot it up. And I played 30 minutes, but yeah.
Right.
Tragic stuff. Much like the story of the this family that lived in this house.
What? Oh, right, of the game.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm assuming it seems like there's bad blood. I've read some letters where I'm like, ooh.
That's true. I don't know how much more there is to not say today about Blueprints.
It is on game. This game is on Game Pass, and it's PS Plus Extra. So if you have either of the consoles and either of those plans, it is free. It's what, $25 otherwise.
Yeah.
Like, and this
are you playing on
game.
Your PC or on your Steam Deck?
Yeah, I'm playing a lot on G4. I've only really been able to like play on my thing, but also you can install on the Mac, right? So I've been I snuck a run in on the Mac the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
do they have a Mac version of it? You don't need the emulator?
On Steam?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Yep. That is all I have to say until the passing of another day.
You're itching to go play right now, aren't you?
I mean, honestly, if I wasn't as tired as I am, yeah, but I'm probably just going to go to bed after this.
Yeah. All right.
Well, so, anything else happened? Nothing else happened this weekend. So let's go to news, or what do you want to do?
Yeah. Sounds good to me.
Tom got married.
No, I got married. The Triforce of marriage is finally complete between all 3 of us.
Mm-hmm.
It was.
Now you just have to have a baby.
That's true.
Tuna's gonna be excited to not be the only one that's like, sorry, I can't do the podcast tonight because of the baby.
Yeah, and it will be funny because you'll be.
He's gonna be excited to hear me complain about it. He'll be like, "See, you see, it's hard."
No, maybe
So what
not.
happens
I mean,
if
I
you
will
both
say
can't do it? That's the question.
It just gets different.
Well,
It's
solo
like,
podding in my future. I can't have a kid because we can't all
why?
not be doing the podcast.
What are you talking about?
We
Today
gotta,
she
we
said,
just gotta bring Geo back on.
yeah,
Geo just does a solo. Well, then he has a kid, and then we got to.
yeah,
I don't think Matt wants kids. Anyway,
No, Matt
yeah.
wants
Today
kids.
she to who?
His wife.
Oh, today she didn't like me asking her questions, so she told me to go back down to the basement.
and you're like, fine by me.
Yeah. She's like, go to the basement right now. I'm like, oh God. All right.
That's all right. Go to your room. Like,
Yeah. You're just
I
the
wasn't
old
even
guy.
in the
From
You're
basement.
just the
your
old guy who
daughter.
lives in the basement now.
I wasn't even in the
your
basement.
daughter saying it to you, like,
I-
instead of you saying it to your kid.
well, I just
go
got
to your
home
room.
from I had just gotten home from work, and like I walked in, I know she had like a jam-packed day. She did like a whole bunch of stuff today, and she was on the couch just like chilling, drinking her water. And I'm like, oh, so what'd you do today? And she goes, I played with so and so. And I'm like, oh, what else? And she said one more thing, and I go, oh, anything else? And she goes, go to the basement right now. I'm like,
Oh my God. The right
Yeah.
now is something.
Damn,
Oh, yeah.
dude.
oh yeah.
Damn.
Mhm.
So marriage. It's been a good week of it. Do you guys wanna okay, so yeah, I guess
It's your wedding. You give us the
were you there? You know, you weren't there, Tuna, with us on the Friday night. You
No,
guys
I had
came in
something
day
called
of.
a kid
Yeah.
responsibilities.
Yeah, no
I
kids
was
at the
there.
wedding. No kids at the wedding.
I love
So
how you kept saying this as if
what
like
do you mean?
I had we well, you kept saying like you were like to me, you had said it a bunch of times. You're like, we're not no kids at the wedding. I'm like, dude, I have not been to a lot of weddings where there have been kids. And usually if there are kids, it's because it's like a family member that is a close family member. Otherwise, people don't just bring their kids to weddings. I don't know where the hell you got this idea. Oh, or what weddings you've been to. But like you were very much like no kids. Like
Yeah, the
no
only
one's bringing
time I
their
know
kids.
where kids come, it's because it's like a sibling's kid, and like
Yeah.
also that sibling like
Is in the wedding or something, or like the
yeah,
kid
and
is a
like they're not gonna
flower.
leave their kids at or if the
Yeah.
kids are young enough that it's like, well, it's not like they're gonna miss out. It's like, well, yeah, but they're like coming in from another state, like you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only time I ever see it.
Tom was very, I mean, obvious. Let me tell you something else. If you
I
brought
mean,
your
I would
kids,
say the majority of weddings I have been to, and granted, I've only been to like 5, but I'm hard pressed to think of one that didn't have kids at it, but it might have just been
Interesting.
the vibe. Yeah.
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 I think I've only been to one that's had kids.
my wedding had one kid, and it was my cousin.
Sure. And then she still didn't get you those tickets to Taylor Swift.
No, not that cousin.
But
Well, she wouldn't have
she
either.
also still didn't get you the tickets.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the night before we just kind of like hung out. We went to that bar, Rock-a-Rolla, that we went the following day.
Yeah.
And we hung out, and that was when it first hit me how I don't think I emotionally prepared myself for the event up until
Mhm.
that point, but when I started seeing like my sister being there with like Chris, and then like high school and then a couple of other, and then also Brooke's friends, right, as well. Like that isn't, that's another whole friend group that is completely set for me. Like I'm close with all of those people.
Mhm.
That's completely separate. So like it was even more of a merging of people than the bachelor party was. And then I was like, oh, and then tomorrow we're throwing in my family, we're throwing in Brooke's family, which was, oh, they're gonna see a side of me that they've never seen before. And so
Well, how much of her family was there? Because you also said we couldn't
I mean,
make it
look,
public
to
because
me,
of family.
to me, every family is bigger than mine, because for me, it's just my parents and my sister. Like, I'm not close with really. The only people who I'm kind of close with outside of that is my dad's sister and her kids. But
Were they at the
even
wedding?
then, it's
No kids at the wedding.
no. Well,
Well,
they're
her
not
kids could have been his
kids.
age.
They're only a couple of years younger than
Well, why
that.
wouldn't they? Why weren't they invited? What happened?
We had obviously like a set number, and there are far more. I'm closer to Brooks' family than I am to them. You know, like at this
How
point
many
in my
people are
life.
how many people are at this wedding?
It was, I think,
Brooks said 98.
80.
Oh,
But 98 included like the tattoo artist, the DJ. Yeah,
Okay.
I think like I think so. I think it was like 90 people. Yeah. Yeah, and we could have. I mean, we did invite more. Obviously, we I think we did like 105, so like 15 people couldn't make it, and and my aunt and my cousins would have been sooner on that list, but honestly, yeah, I'm just like closer with a lot more people, and they would have to fly from England, like like, which I'm not saying that they wouldn't have done, but anyway, besides the point. Anyway, so that night before we had some drinks, and then we actually kind of called it somewhat early. It was like 12:30. Prime is Chris affectionately nicknamed him. Prime was pushing for karaoke.
I was down. I was also pushing for karaoke.
I was fluctuating, but
I wanted to sing my new signature song, Tequila.
right.
Tequila.
Yeah. It's that song where it just goes for like a minute and a half, and the only line you just go tequila, and then the music kicks back up, and that's it.
Excellent.
And so people are just waiting.
That's great.
You're just waiting, and you just stand
have
there.
you done that at a karaoke?
Yeah, I did a couple times. I saw someone else do it. It was brilliant. So now it's like I gotta steal that. That's pretty good. It's very funny. It's like the first time. You can't like being a repeat offender of tequila.
You can't do it multiple times. You got if you gotta do it once
unless
with
you
each
do it
crowd.
so much that like 10 years later of still doing it, now then it becomes, it is one of those jokes that if you put in the time, it will come back around and be funnier than it ever was. But boy, that would be real. You'd be so irritating at that point that no one would just go do karaoke ever again with you. So it's a one-time use.
It's a break glass in case of emergency. So
I saw someone put on the it was a Beach Boys song and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme, and they're basically like they go at the exact same like, and so the lyrics from Fresh Prince go to that song. I'm gonna try and remember what it was, but it was amazing. Like the song came on, you expected him to start singing it, and then he starts rapping Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and it fit perfectly, and it was very good.
I love that. So the next day, we had breakfast at the bar downstairs, and then we got ready, and this is when Tuna joined us, and it was very funny because we ordered pizza, and we all got dressed, and then we all had to get undressed because of the pizza. And yeah, I gave the boys their gift.
Great gift.
Which was I can't remember the name because all the names are like 5XT72, but it's an Ambinic. It's a kind of shaped like a Game Boy Color. I got them all the just like see through. No, SP. Oh,
sorry, you're right. Game Boy Color. You're right. It is more like Game Boy Color.
It does have though R1
the wider screen.
It has a bigger screen, and then it has trigger R1, R2, L1, L2 on the back as well.
And I don't think the Game Boy Color had it didn't have extra.
Let me tell you something.
D-pad. Yeah.
I have been trying to I don't know why I remember this game from when I was sick in elementary school, and I played it at home. It was a Sega Genesis game. It was Tiny Toon Adventures Busters something.
Oh yeah.
And it's on
Oh yeah.
And I've been looking. I thought, I was hoping maybe it was on the mini Sega that I got. It's not. I tried looking for it in the Sega Virtual Console thing on Switch. It's not there.
You're sure you played it on Sega, not Super Nintendo?
100%.
Okay.
It is available on the thing that Tom got us.
It was
preloaded. Hell yeah.
Number 2, Sonic Spinball. Never made it past the first level of that game when I was a kid, ever. So now it's on there. I'm on level 3 now. Very exciting. Yeah. No, this thing's sweet.
Awesome.
I thought it was going to be a piece of junk. But Well, I thought I was going to boot it up, and it was going to be like the time that my uncle got back in the DVD when DVDs
But
were
it's
hot.
Tom. But it's Tom.
I know, but it reminded me of when my uncle got like The Godfather Part 2, like bootlegged back in like a DVD and gave it to everyone for Christmas because he thought it was like such a great gift. We pop it in the DVD player. It's
Oh my
fucking
God.
Chinese.
It's a Chinese.
It's the Chinese version. I mean,
That's
it was like that's what
amazing.
I thought I was gonna boot this up and it was gonna be like the skull and crossbones, be like, sorry, sucker.
Oh my God.
No, it is funny because it's like a legit company. Like, and it kind of comes in a very, it does come in like a Temu bot, like a very like,
Oh
It
yeah.
comes in
there
like a
was
fake
no-
iPhone.
there
Like
was
case.
yeah, but it is a real fucking company and it's a really good product. Like I was
yeah.
kind of
Great.
shocked like how good it was. And it wasn't like, it was only those are only $60, right? Like they're not in like, and but the screen is really nice and the build
It's really
quality is
nice.
really nice.
It is.
I'm glad I got in before the tariffs on ordering those.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, who
for
knows
sure.
what the tariffs are at this point?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, and then I was stunned. I was as stunned as you were when I was like, oh, they've loaded a ton of games on here. Interesting. That feels illegal.
Yeah, fuck it.
But there were
Who's gonna regulate it?
But anyway, I'm
Wild
assuming
West.
though there are no Nintendo published games on there though, or Nintendo first party games. That one I would be very shocked. But anyway, so it gave you guys those. Everyone enjoyed them, which I was very happy about. We got ready. We all looked incredible. We took some fantastic photos with our photographer friend. And then we went to Rock and Roller again and did like a little photo shoot. First look, I saw Brooke in her dress for the first time, which was, she looked incredible. All of her bridesmaids look fantastic in their pink suits too. They crushed it. Everyone crushed it. Like it was awesome. And then we went to the spot where we had the very brief ceremony.
And on the way, you wanted us to take pictures in the subway, but it was like 40 degrees and raining that day. And then we get down there and we can't all fit in the subway car. So Alex and I go, fuck this, and just go in the other subway car. I noticed a lack of like pictures too of the shots in the car. It seems like that idea just went out the window.
Yeah, that was I think
that was unfortunate because it would have been cool. I get the vision.
Some people got some fun like phone photos,
Sure.
but yeah, no official photos with that one really. But anyway, we get that. There's some. I love the photos of each of the groomsmen coming into the venue. All of those are really good. If you look in the album, I love those. And then we did all that. Not a dry eye in the room. Not a dry eye.
I was dry.
I saw Tuna tearing.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
I
Because
did.
I don't tear for.
Tom, I looked
really
over. I
fucking
looked
funny.
over Tom and I saw him go.
I know. Yep. And you know
No.
what's really funny is Chris told me that happened, and he said he will never admit it.
This is some
He will
bull.
never admit it.
This is some bull.
I mean,
I saw it.
are you admitting it or are you not admitting it?
I'm not.
Right,
no,
you're
there's
not
nothing to
admitting
admit.
it.
No, there's nothing to admit.
You're not admitting it like Chris said you wouldn't.
No, because there's nothing to admit.
It's Schrodinger's tear.
I don't know what to tell you about Schrodinger.
Schrodinger's tear.
I don't know what you're talking about, Schrodinger. Didn't think we bring him up this week.
I didn't.
Anyway,
yeah.
That's amazing.
Not a dry eye in the room. And then we partied
Yeah, we did.
very hard.
Yeah. Well, no. What was your first dance?
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
that was
And then we
cool.
had our first dance, which was our first Mario Kart race. Man,
Which
would have
Tuna
loved
so
to have had a
gracefully
little
set up.
Mario Kart World. Yeah, dude. So Austin was so
I didn't
impressed with
understand
you.
why the fuck you needed this Switch set up like now. It was like he was like, "Did you set it up?" I'm like, "Dude, what? Okay, so what? People don't play Switch or something. Like, big deal. I don't know how to figure this out." And then I finally asked, like there was a HDMI cable that had a red tape around it because you also supply. I don't know. got it plugged in, and then I said, "Look, it's plugged in. I don't know how to. I don't know what else. Do your whatever." But I didn't realize that you were gonna do this as your first dance. So I was like, "What is the urgency here? Where's the fire?"
Probably would have helped to have clued you in on that. Anyway, but you got it set up, and Austin said he was very impressed. Prime was impressed.
Look, you have 3 Austins there. He was the only one that got to keep his name. Prime. What else do you call? He is the Prime Austin.
Yes, he is Prime.
You know? He is the Alpha and the Omega.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that you actually met him after you met us.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. In fact,
I've known Tom since he was 18.
In fact, Chris and Tuna. Oh no, Trace would be my most recent friend, but not by much. Like by a couple, like by 6 months.
Yeah, because you were already doing the podcast when you moved up there and met Austin.
Oh, so no home friends.
What
about the kids you made those movies with?
Kid I made those movies with.
Stop. Yeah, the movies that we watched on Lads Weekend. On Lads Weekend.
Oh no, they're not in my life anymore.
Kill the past.
They're not in my life anymore. Anyway, so we partied.
They're just bodies for Halo.
So we were out, and then very quickly after that, we were my father, myself, and my best man were outside having a chat, and we had a food truck, right? So they put out like they just basically brought in a bunch of food and put it out, and so they were bringing trays in, and they were pulling the tray
he was there
off
with
of the cart, huh?
Trace, he was there with us.
Oh, Trace, that's good. So he pulled it down, and it was a big thing of meatballs in marinara, and they all spilled, and all 3 of us showered in marinara sauce. And,
I got a picture of you guys cleaning it off yourselves while you're in the bathroom.
God.
I Dr. disrespected you.
You did, and I think you even said that.
I did.
You just like, we're taking a picture. You're like, I'm Dr. disrespecting you. We mostly got it out. It does need to go to the dry cleaner, but it is what it is. Anyway, it didn't matter because we had a fucking Rick rollicking good time. Some bangers were played, some drinks were had. Some tattoos were done as well.
A lot of tattoos were done.
We had 70 people. Well, not 70 people.
Tuna got 9 of them. Remind me of what each one was.
Were done. Yeah,
wait,
Tuna,
70 people got tattoos?
70 tattoos were done.
Probably like,
but
56 people.
Some people got, it would have been like 60 people got tattoos, which was way more.
Shit.
We had
the vast majority out. We were on the major outs.
We're on
the that did not get tattoos.
And I'm really glad that because that was even beyond what we had like kind of budgeted time wise. Like we had 5 artists working, which was awesome, and fucking shout out if you're in New Jersey and you want a tattoo, or more importantly, if you are getting a piercing, it's called Hudson Tattoo Company. The main guy, Ernie, the guy with the dreads, if you saw him, he is like, from an award standpoint, the most awarded piercer in all of New Jersey. So go there.
He'll pierce you good up.
He'll pierce you good. But we all got
if you
tattoos.
want to be penetrated, go to Ernie.
Chris and Tuna, you guys got tattoos? No,
I mean, if you look between me, Alex, our wives, Gio, his girlfriend, that right there is more than a quarter of the people that didn't get tattoos.
I got a tattoo.
Like if this were Survivor, we'd be a strong voting block.
Mm-hmm.
I got a tattoo.
Of course. It would be insane if you did this and didn't get a tattoo there, Tom. What'd you get? Let's see it.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I'm trying to remember which one you got.
The fuck is going on?
It's a neck tattoo.
It isn't a
Wow,
neck
full
tattoo.
full shirt first.
Oh
Full
my
shirt
god.
Full
No,
shirt
it's not
off.
because he was in the pool during a podcast.
I didn't say
Wait,
first time. I just
what
said
the
full shirt.
fuck?
What is happening?
When did you get a shoulder tattoo?
Oh, you don't know about
no,
this
the
one? This one's
cable.
sick.
When did this happen? When the hell did that happen at the wedding?
No.
No, this happened over the last couple of days.
Yeah, it looks pretty raw.
Wait, is that Mononoke's? Is
Wow.
it? Oh, it is.
Wow, that's sick.
Oh, wow, that's pretty good.
It matches your Zelda tattoo a little bit, style-wise.
Wait, so
It's
where's
not
the
just Mononoke.
Oh, then I can't tell.
Oh, it's a full. Holy shit! It's a full Miyazaki tattoo. There's your boy.
Miyazaki movie.
There's your boy.
Every movie? Wow.
That's Lupin right there. There's
Kiki.
Who designed this?
It's please go check out her work. Her name is
That's
Mimi
sick.
Sama. I have Porco's.
So turn around. I want to see Porco Rosso. Oh, let's go.
Porco.
Oh, there he is. Okay, there's Porco. What do you got? Keep turning. Oh, I see Ponyo. I see the ship. I see.
Do you see the
Where's Wind Rises?
It's the paper
It's the plane.
airplane.
Okay, it's the plane. Okay.
Paper airplane.
Mhm.
This one is my sneaky favorite.
It's hard to tell what it is.
Hard to tell. No. I can't say. I'm not.
It looks like a
It's the-
signpost. Is that?
It's the building blocks from Boy and the Heron.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Oh.
is this like a mailbox in Boy and the Heron? It's
City
not
of
coming.
Castle in the Sky?
Oh,
Yeah, it's the robot from Castle. Oh fuck! It's really hard to.
Mononoke's herself. The fire.
Yeah, the flame.
Calcifer.
All right.
Oh,
Nausicaa.
Nice.
Nausicaa on the glider. And yeah, you got the ship, you got the Ponyo.
Where's Howls? Where's Howls? Oh, right, we just saw.
Calcifer,
Yeah, we just saw.
And then it's the deer.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I thought it was. I thought it was just that.
That's amazing.
Oh, and then this is all it's.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I've been up to the last 3 days. And let me tell you about Mimi Sama, go find her on Instagram. Phenomenal artist. This is a tattoo that I have wanted to do for about a decade now. And pretty much ever since I got this, which was the first one, I was like, oh, what are the designs I want to do? And when I got this, it was pretty much after wrapping up my first watch. And I was like, I love those movies. I love the storytelling. Like, I would want to get something like this. And so over the years, I've noodled on the idea of the elk, the forest spirit, and them all in the things. And then as we were doing I was like, I'll get it posthumously, right? Like that was going to be like, I have a Stan Lee posthumous tattoo, and I was like, I'll get that posthumously. But when
You're going to wait for Miyazaki to die.
Well, I was going to. Well, I wasn't necessarily going to wait.
Are you gonna like design an edition for whatever his last film is to go in?
Yeah, we made sure that we could
Some space.
Extend it if that does happen. And so yeah, and basically we were doing our rewatch, and that was the first time I had like watched all of them.
Because she's in New York City for 3 days only.
Correct.
So Tom was planning this for a while.
Yeah.
So
wait, so how did you went there and were like, hey, I need you to do this for me? Like there was
No, this was planned in advance.
You've been okay.
Yeah, so basically we were in the middle of this was in January. We were like still in the middle of our rewatch, and it was the first time I'd been watching all of them. And it was also like, we're watching them and we're all seeing them differently, like feeling differently about them. But like, it was just like, man, these are all so fucking good, and we're just like experiencing them differently. So I was starting to think about like actually getting this done, especially also because I could now afford something as as embellished as this and as big as this. And so I was like, okay, maybe now's the time. And around that time, but also I had been working with an artist for a very long time up until that point, but for various reasons it didn't work out. And so I was like, oh, I have to find a new artist. And this Mimi Sama, she did a tattoo for this guy, the Greg Miller from Kind of Funny on their 10th anniversary stream. He got like the kind of like a variant of their company logo essentially on his body, and she did the art. And I saw her style, which is this kind of no line patent style, and I was like, oh my god, I think I found the artist. And then I looked at her portfolio and I was like, oh, and she clearly like knows these characters, like knows these movies as well. And basically, this was in January, and I was like, I live in New York. I see that you travel. You know, she travels. She is a traveling tattoo artist, literally like in a different state every other week. And I was like, I see you travel. Are you in New York at any point? I was like, can we plan something? And we came up with a design together, and she was like, I'm in New York for these couple of days. And I was like, fuck, that's so soon after the wedding. But I was like, look, let's just book it. Fuck it. Let's just do it. I'm getting married. Like,
hell yeah.
Never a better time to do it. And it will be a funny bit. And but I had not forgotten that it was happening, but I forgot that it was so soon after. I thought it was like next week. And so on Monday, I'm like, oh, I should double check when that appointment is. And then it was, I went into the email thread and I was like, okay, it starts tomorrow and it's 6 hours for 3 days. Cool. We are
6 hours a day.
Yeah.
It was this tattoo was 18 hours.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, that thing's huge. Yeah, and it's color.
And the most,
some of it.
Well, no, it's black and white. There's just touches of red on the
characters.
Some of it. Yeah, but like the pattern, the stencil is like, I mean, the stencil was basically day one was the face of this and a bit of Haku. Oh, we didn't.
I've been wondering why the hell you haven't, because you were like originally like, I'm gonna get a lot of game time in, but instead you were doing this, and then you're probably just tired and fucking like.
I thought I was gonna be able to get a lot of game time in.
What were you doing? What were you doing the whole time while she's doing this?
It was actually not. While I was trying to play Blueprints on my laptop, but I thought I'd be like able to do like this, but.
You can't move that arm. That's a one arm move.
This
right?
arm had to be completely. So then I was like, I was very slow. So I got like 2 days in during that time, but also it was like I had to because I was so uncomfortable and like fidgety and I couldn't move.
Probably hurt over the bone area.
Oh man, it taught me my limits, I think.
Yeah,
because originally I thought.
I'm sorry. Are we gonna just do the show with our shirt off the whole time? Let's go.
Yeah,
okay, great.
I mean, he's done an episode in a pool and in like his.
You know what though, Alex? There's something different about the context of Tom shirtless in the pool and Tom just shirtless in his.
Well, he's showing off his fucking.
Like one seems less like his OnlyFans stream.
I mean, the guy spent like $20,000 on this tattoo.
It wasn't 20,000. Jesus Christ.
No, it was 12.
Yeah, all the money that we got from the wedding went right to this sucker. No,
after you
bamboozled
us into thinking it was for a down payment on a house.
Yeah. No, it was in the low 4-digit range. Anyway, so
yeah, it's probably like $1,800.
Probably like $18,000.
So
have you seen his Zelda tattoo?
I've seen Tom naked.
Oh, that's weird. What were we doing?
So
Tom naked.
So I went, and so I did try, but so anyway, because I couldn't like physically fidget, I had to keep swapping things out. So like I had my e-reader, so I read a bit more. I finally got back to starting Absolution
Oh,
because I
thank
just
God.
like completely like the last couple of months threw a wrench in the reading plan. But I read a bit of that. I watched a little bit of the DMC animated thing on Netflix, the new Devil May Cry series that's apparently very good. Like watched an episode of that. So I was just kind of shuffling. Sometimes I couldn't do anything. Sometimes I literally just like had to stare at the wall. And yeah, it did teach me my threshold, I
Wait,
think.
so Mimi, she was in New York City for 3 days, and her 3 days were taken up by you?
Yeah, so she basically she is she's here on a work visa, and so basically the way that there's a lot of tattoo artists, right, that are here on work in America on work visas, right? And basically
Well, you better be careful.
well we had conversations about that and like how has travel been for you, all of that. But basically multiple shops will get together and kind of like sponsor, like she like needs to go to conventions and win awards. Like she just came from a convention in like Wisconsin or whatever and like won best in show. Like every year she needs to show that not only is she working but like she's bringing quote unquote quality, and like she needs to keep being sponsored by these shops, and basically she just like travels between a bunch of different shops all across the country. And so when we planned it, she was like, I'm in New York for 3 days, but this is going to take me 3 days, so she's like, I'm just going to book you. And it was awesome. Like she has led such a cool life.
What the hell is
And
going on with you?
I was getting hiccups. She's led such a cool life, and obviously I really like her art. And so yeah, and so if you're she might be coming to a town near you, but please go give her a follow if you are looking to get work done, because she is incredible. I'll post photos later, but come see the video pod for a little sneak
Well, she's
peek.
going to be in San Fran from the 24th to the 30th of April.
She lives in San Francisco, like that's her home base.
All right. Well, what are you talking? Oh, okay. Kansas. Well, what do you mean? She's
What do you
here on a
mean?
work visa.
What?
I thought maybe she was living abroad and then she came back. All right. Kansas City, Milwaukee.
She's been in the U.S. for several years, but like she
Oh,
has an apartment in San Francisco.
okay.
She's got
All right.
kids.
She has kids?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
that doesn't
crazy.
stop anybody from doing anything anymore. So
anyway, oh, and then I got the sword. That was the wedding one.
that is nothing compared to what's going on.
So yeah.
Hide your kids, hide your wife.
And then we went to and we took some excellent photos at the after party.
Yeah,
in the photo booth.
My wife and I had
Chris.
left by then. Chris was in on the after party business.
He was.
So I went home. So T and I went back because
Oh.
we thought it ended at 11 there, and then people were going. So that's what some people had said when I asked around, Tom. So Trace
Same.
was like, "Let's just wait," and I was like, "Okay," like because I was like, "You can go back. Like I can go with you if you want, and then I can come back if I still feel like coming out." But I was going to take her back. She was tired. And then at like 11:15, we found out it was 12, but it was actually more 12 and when they kick us out. And then someone was like, "Oh no, it might even be 1." So then it was like, all right, 11:30 came around. Gio's leaving. We were like, we're going to. Like the olds were winding down. So I went back with her. Got back there just before 12. And I texted you guys. I was like, I'll just come back for the after party, thinking you guys were still leaving in like the next 15 to 30 minutes anyway. But it actually went on for another like hour and 20 minutes. And I was about to fall asleep.
12:30 when it started wrapping up.
Yeah. And I talked about this great Paramount channel they have there. Paramount Plus just needs this. They need this like fake. They need this like I want all the streaming apps to have like fake TV channels. Like give me this fake TV channel, because it was just like fucking Oceans was always on, A Few Good Men was on, and now tonight Top Gun Maverick was on. Like I'd watched the Goonies earlier on this. I watched 4 great fucking movies this weekend because of the Paramount channel. Like I woke up at 6 a.m. From the first night of drinking, because whenever I drink, if I get drunk, I always wake up at in the middle of the night, like, or I wake up super early and I have to pee, and that's it, I'm awake. So at like
That's
6
insane.
a.m., we caught up on Survivor. We watched Survivor from like 6 to like 7:15, and then the Goonies was on. It was fucking, it was good. This is a good channel. So I turn it on, Tuna. I'm about to fall asleep. Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick.
Great movie.
Go to bed now.
Great movie.
So I start watching. They're right at the scene. They're doing the trench run. They got to bomb the Death Star. It was great. They pulled it off. Tom Cruise has landed. They're gonna do their little thing, and I'm like, there's another 45 minutes of this left. I'm not falling asleep. So I get out of bed, I put my clothes on, and I go to the after party.
Crazy.
And I closed it down. I didn't leave till Tom and Brooke did at basically right before 4 a.m.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It was like almost 4.
People couldn't believe it. They were like, "You came back out?"
You came back,
which Kenny did too. Kenny also had
Kenny
retired.
Did,
Kenny retired the same time Teresa. When
he was
Gio
paying
was like,
for
"We're
it the
going,"
next day,
Teresa and I were like, "We're gonna go," and then Kenny was like, "We're gonna go too." Like 3 couples all saw each other go, and we're like, "Time to call it a night." Man, who knew? If fun's gonna continue on that long.
I had to Prime had left shit at the hotel, and so we had to go to his we went to his on the way home to drop shit off. And he had texted the group and he said like Kenny and his girlfriend are there because they had to check out, but like Kenny still needed to like have a bit of respite. And when I went into his apartment, into Prime's apartment, Kenny was essentially a corpse on the couch being nursed to health by his girlfriend.
When he got to the bar at like 1:45, I saw him come in with his girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
Or a partner. And I was, they were like, "What should we drink? What do you got?" And I was like, "Guys, I sobered up. Like, I'm not drinking." I was like, "This is water." I was like, "In fact, I recommend that because you stopped drinking for an hour and a half, that you don't restart at almost 2 a.m. And they both were like, "That's smart. We're gonna get water." And she comes back with water, and Kenny comes back with a drink. He was like, "I'm back."
I love it. Oh, he's not gonna do that again. So we closed it out and we had a blast there. Took a bunch of fun photos in the photo booth. I honestly it's very hazy this like hour or 2 hours. But I had a blast. Thank you so much both for coming. It meant the world to have you guys there. And I mean, it was a fucking phenomenal experience. But something else real quick that was also a phenomenal experience that Brooke just reminded me we did as well this week, because she had a friend from Ireland who was in town, so they've been spending a lot of time together this week. We went to see a play. We went to see The Picture of Dorian Gray starring Sarah Snook.
Sarah Snook.
Cool.
This was single-handedly the greatest theater experience I have ever had in my life.
Wow.
It was an insane. I kind of don't want to spoil what they do, but even the premise of you're not watching necessarily her on stage. She is on stage, but she has a camera crew. It's a one man play, right? She's playing all of the characters. The play has been rewritten because it's almost like a Romeo plus Juliet take, right? Like a kind of, there's modern elements, but it's in the past, like, kind of thing. She's on the stage doing the performance, but she's surrounded by a camera crew. And there is a screen hanging from the rafters and multiple screens of different sizes with all of the camera angles. And they switch out and they do crazy stuff. But you're watching a close-up, essentially, of her face hanging from the rafters. And it escalates in ways that, like, blew my mind. I was like, how the actual fuck did you pull this off? Like, literal tech magic. It was so cool. Tickets were pretty inexpensive for something like this. It was kind of crazy in a very, very small theater. And I mean, they did like fucking 5 like came out and went back and did the bowing and everything like 5 different fucking times. Yeah, fantastic experience. So all in all, pretty good week.
Yeah, I agree. Quick bit of news, and then we'll go.
Yeah.
Mario Kart Direct today. Pretty good. That game looks unbelievably fun. There's so many. There are like these little hidden POW blocks where there's like challenges. They basically had Mario Kart shrines, Alex, in this new Mario Kart of the Wild game that they've made. I mean,
Mario Kart of the Wild, that's good.
This looks phenomenal. I can't wait to use the different. There's different like restaurants hidden all over the map, Tuna. And you go to a restaurant and whatever kind of cuisine it is, your character unlocks that kind of costume. So you want to be like Italian Yoshi, you just go get Italian food. You go to the Italian restaurant. You want to be, like Wild West Mario, you go get him a burger. Or maybe that was actually the taco was Wild West. No, because that was Mario, I think. I think Wild West Mario was probably Cowboy Mario was like the burger, chips. Maybe.
There was one where he like ate a bag of chips, and I think it was like Tex-Mex. It was meant to be like Tex-Mex or something. Yeah, really curious as to how problematic potentially these
looks great.
custom changes. But I'm being facetious. This game is very interesting because I went from what could it possibly be to now when I play Mario Kart, they're not going to make some
kind of Zelda Breath of the Wild Mario Kart, and they did. Which it seems like is what they're going to do for every video game.
I am so excited for this. This game looks phenomenal. It looks, we've said for years, Mario Kart 8 doesn't need to look better. And now when we play it, I'm like, oh, this looks like a crazy upgrade, just even visually, the level of animation. And I also think that it's a little bit of like, well, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was originally a Wii U game, right? Because like the Switch, especially over, I think its life cycle, certain games like Super Mario Wonder, the level of animation in that game comparative to like previous 2D Marios is like, and obviously like Odyssey comparative to previous Mario 3D Marios. But yeah, this looks great. I'm so stoked. I'm going to spend so many fucking hours playing this if it comes to America. What was some other things? So there's the costumes, the open world, all the different hidden things, the knockout mode, the Grand Prix. You have to drive from course to course. They teased Rainbow Road. Yeah.
Can you imagine this game has a Rainbow Road?
I mean, it would have. What would it be? No. What would it be? A whole? Would it
probably be like a warp pipe that like fires you into space?
I think it's going to be you go to the DK spaceport.
Yeah, it could be something like that. Is there a DK spaceport?
That's one of the. That's
probably what it
tracks.
Is. Then.
And if you watch the trailer, there's also like things where you're not only just like morphing the vehicle, like there was one thing where like fucking Peach on a motorcycle drove up to the back of like a helicopter thing, drove up the ramp, and then the back of it closed, locked her in, and then like that took off. Like, I think there's a ton that I do think that Breath of the Wild is apt because I do think that it will be a game that you think
Well, I mean, once I saw the shrines, Tom, I was like, this is Breath of the Wild.
Are there shrines? Were there shrines?
They have POW blocks, and the POW blocks like unlock things on. Then they said I think they said there were hundreds.
That's I'm excited, man.
And like they're like challenges. Excited. So like, I mean, it sounds kind of like a miniaturized sort of like, like a race shrine.
Yeah. And when they showed the map with all of the tracks, I was like, oh, this map is way bigger than I initially thought based on the look of it. It's not like those fake overworld maps where it's like, here's what the overworld looks like, and then we're going to zoom in and like, oh, it's a much smaller space. Like, no, this is big. And then when you're driving through the fucking Did you
Sorry, I
notice?
kept saying POW. The P button, like in Super Mario World, is what I meant.
Yes.
The P button
Yeah.
that like you would press and like the hidden stuff would come up. It seems like that's gonna make things. It'll work kind of the way it does in the side-scrolling games, but for Mario Kart, if you could imagine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thoughts, Tuna?
Can't wait.
Can't wait. All right. I have one last thing, and then we can go to it. Bit of news. So the new book I'm reading, and this is a big deal. And in fact, this is going to be my next 2 books. You guys, it's the Odyssey.
Oh.
It's the newest translation of the Odyssey. It's by Daniel Mendelsohn. He has been teaching the Odyssey for a long time at university. He also has a book that is like his memoir of like teaching the Odyssey as well. So I'm gonna read that after I read his translation of it.
Tuna was obsessed with the Odyssey instead of Rome. Like this is what this guy's
I think
deal
the
is.
Greeks. I just, as a true Italian, I'm not obsessed with Italian history. I'm obsessed with Greek history.
Greek history. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, because that's who the Romans. Oh, the Roman. All of Roman everything is just. It's just Timu Greece. You know. All the gods, they were like, we're just gonna change the names and basically keep the same story. Like they made Timu Greece. That's what Italy is, you know. And I say this as an Italian. Look, you know, sometimes the sequel is better in some ways, but I find the Greek gods and the Greek fiction to be better than the Roman gods and the Roman fiction. And that's what I find more interesting.
No one knows, but like, no one knows the
look,
Roman.
I don't believe in any religion.
Names,
but like, I think we never should have given up these gods. I think this is way cooler.
You do because you know the Greek.
Well, you do because you know the planets.
Sure.
Right.
Well, you know the names, but I'm saying that like, no, Disney didn't make a movie with fucking Jupiter and like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Correct. And so,
Tom, you know where we get the names of the weeks, right? The days of the week. You know where we get those?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
So this is the new Penguin Classics edition. So this is going to be the replacement for what has been the official translation of the Odyssey for the last like several decades. So this is actually a pretty big deal, especially because there was a replacement as well in the UK like 5 years ago, which was great. But this will be now the most like modern, at least English language translation that exists, and it's from someone that's basically considered like an expert and authority on. I'm very excited. I couldn't buy this one. I bought this. I bought this digitally because it is not available for rent yet, and I did not want. It literally just came out like this last week, so I had to finish what I was reading before I could start this. So I bought this one, and I'm gonna start it soon. The problem is I tried starting it, and I just can't stop thinking about blueprints right now. So like I gotta kind of wrap up what I'm doing there a little bit, you know. I got to accomplish some puzzles.
Sure.
So, all right. Tuna is falling asleep. Let's say sweet lullabies to our little boy. Tuna.
Yeah. See ya.
What are you gonna go do tonight?
I'm gonna go to sleep.
Yeah. We should do some lasers tomorrow.
Yeah. We could get a little. I feel like.
I know it sucks because I know because I'm itching to play Walk Around Mini Golf because we've been talking about it so much, but we just have to complete the lasers because also we have stopped playing the main
the actual goddamn game.
I know. We gotta finish the fucking
game. We have to finish the lasers first.
We have to do the lasers. Suck it.
Oh,
that's you can bounce. You don't have to stay for the post show.
Oh man, good. You guys haven't. Oh, you guys need to finish Split Fiction because you need to play that last level.
Yeah.
Well. We want to beat. Did you and Brooke beat the lasers?
We didn't. We haven't gone back to do laser.
We haven't moved past the lasers.